Shedeur Sanders makes a deep throw, and his receiver drops the ball, making fans angry. Shedeur Sanders is facing one of the biggest challenges of his football career, as the sensational rookie quarterback displays his talent with the Cleveland Browns. Training camp is underway, and the former Colorado Buffaloes superstar has no time to waste, as he looks to beat 3 other quarterbacks for the starting job with the Ohio franchise. The odds, however, are not in his favor, at least according to Josh All, host of The Dogs, a Browns podcast. We need to understand that Shedeur Sanders is not a priority for the Browns right now in training camp. There aren't enough players. There isn't enough time to run a 4-quarterback rotation. He's throwing to equipment managers. It's just not going to happen. Receiver drops a great pass by Shedeur Sanders. At the Cleveland Browns training camp, Shedeur Sanders dropped back and launched a perfect deep ball. The spiral was clean, the timing was sharp. But the result? Frustrating. Tight end Sal Cannella couldn't reel it in, and the crowd reaction was instant. Fans took to social media demanding cuts, furious that Sanders' dime was wasted. With limited reps and steep competition, every throw matters for Shedeur. And while this one was perfect, it also showed how fragile his case can be when others don't deliver. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is making sure that Shedeur is getting as many reps as he possibly can for his team in competitive settings. The previous 3 days of training camp have featured a heavy mix of team drills, trying to gauge the competitiveness of the 90 players on the Browns roster. Shedeur Sanders keeps on grinding. As training camp has gone on, the emphasis on testing the quarterbacks has been clear as team drills have become the main chunk of practice for the Cleveland Browns. On day 4, the quarterbacks, especially Shedeur Sanders, flourished. During 7-on-7, Dillon Gabriel fired a ball through a tight window to wide receiver DeAndre Carter. During 11-on-11, he worked on his maneuverability in the pocket often. With the pocket collapsing on him, he stepped up and found running back Amani Marshall for a short gain. The next play, he stepped up again and found wideout Gage Larvadain on a play that wound up inside the 10-yard line. Sanders found his groove, getting his first touchdown of training camp on a play where he held tight in the pocket and lofted a ball inside the 5 for wide receiver Luke Floria, who caught the pass and proceeded to score. During the red zone period, he homed in, throwing 2 touchdowns. The late afternoon sun hung over the Cleveland Browns training facility, painting the practice field in hues of gold and amber. Fans leaned against the railings, their voices hoarse from hours of cheering every routine drill, every modest completion. The buzz around the rookie quarterback had been building all week. Shedeur Sanders, son of a legend, showing poise far beyond his years. But nobody was prepared for the play that was about to happen. It started like any other snap. Sanders stood in the shotgun, his stance steady, his eyes scanning the defense. The defensive backs crept forward, disguising coverage, trying to rattle the young quarterback. Instead of nerves, Sanders exuded a calm intensity. He tapped his helmet, signaled to his wideout, a lanky receiver with track-star speed, and took the snap. The line held. Sanders dropped back, his cleats digging into the turf, his shoulders squaring. Time slowed. He saw his receiver break free on a deep post, slipping behind the safety. Without hesitation, Sanders wound up and launched the football. The ball spiraled high into the Ohio sky, a perfect arch against the light. Gasps rippled through the crowd as everyone's eyes followed it. It was a thing of beauty, tight rotation, flawless trajectory, and velocity that whistled through the air. The receiver sprinted beneath it, arms outstretched. This was the moment, a touchdown waiting to happen, a highlight destined for endless replays. And then clank. The ball hit his palms, bounced off, and tumbled to the grass with a thud that seemed louder than it should have been. For a heartbeat, silence fell over the field, as if the crowd collectively held its breath. Then the murmurs began, sharp and angry. "You've got to be kidding me," a fan yelled from the bleachers, tossing his hands up in disbelief. "That was perfect, man. Perfect," another voice cried, frustration cracking through. Even a little kid in a number 5 jersey shouted, "Come on. He threw it right to you." The receiver crouched down, hands on his helmet, staring at the ground as if hoping the turf would swallow him. Sanders jogged up to him, a calm expression on his face despite the storm brewing in the stands. He patted the receiver on the back and said something nobody could hear over the rising chatter. But the fans weren't done. Chants started low at first, then louder. "Shedeur! Shedeur! He gave you that dime. Catch the ball." Even a group of veteran players on the sideline exchanged glances, shaking their heads. They knew the truth. Those kinds of throws don't come easy, not from rookies. Sanders had just dropped a deep pass on a string, the kind that makes defenses pay attention. Reporters scrambled to jot notes, already imagining the headlines. Sanders delivers a gem, receiver drops it. Rookie QB shows off arm, fans furious over drop. Coach Stefanski blew his whistle and called the offense back. Instead of berating anyone, he clapped his hands. "We run it again," he said. "Next play. Let's go." And that's what they did. Sanders lined up once more, eyes still bright, jaw set in determination. The receiver, still rattled, jogged back to his spot. The fans quieted, waiting to see if lightning would strike twice. On the next snap, Sanders didn't hesitate. He threw another deep ball, not to the same receiver this time, but to the tight end streaking down the seam. The throw was good, not quite as flawless as the first, but still impressive. The tight end hauled it in, and the crowd erupted, some still shaking their heads about the previous drop. But the story of the day was already written in their hearts. It wasn't just about a missed catch, it was about what it revealed. Sanders had shown the arm strength, the vision, the guts to take the shot. That's what fans crave, a quarterback willing to test the limits, to go for the big play rather than settling for safe passes. Later, as players cooled off and the sun began to set, Sanders lingered on the field, chatting with receivers, practicing routes. He threw the same deep post 5, 6, 7 more times until sweat poured down his brow. And every time he encouraged his targets. "Shake it off. You've got the speed, I'll get it there. We'll get it right." That dropped pass might have ignited some anger in the stands, but it also lit a spark, a promise that Cleveland was witnessing the beginning of something real. The rookie had arrived, and he wasn't shying away from the big moments. As the last few fans trickled out of the bleachers, one man in a battered Browns cap muttered to his son, "If he can throw like that now, just wait till the season starts." The boy's eyes lit up. "You think they'll catch it next time?" The man smiled. "Oh, they'll catch it. And when they do, you're going to remember that throw."